What's up, everybody? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2002, working our way towards the road to WrestleMania. And guys, this is week 3. We're 1 week away from WrestleMania, and I know it's been a while. We got your favorite episode of Heat here, or your favorite series, I should say, of Heat here. But before we jump in to Sunday Night Heat, I've got to make a little bit of an announcement. I know it's been a while. I know I've been lacking on some uploads here, not only with Invasion, but with the WWE versus TEW series. And I hate to be the person to say this to you guys, and I'm probably going to make a video about this on the side as well. But Invasion will kind of be leaving for a little bit here. Mostly because since next week, or week 4, is like WrestleMania week, I really kind of want to make like a week of WrestleMania here on the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of record Raw and Nitro and all that before I upload them. So it'll all be ready to go. So then we'll have, Monday all the way up until Sunday. Starting with Monday Night Raw, little things sprinkled in there, like a too long didn't watch thing, things that I would have done different kind of stuff. I'm going to make an official announcement of exactly what we're going to be doing on each and every single day. But once you see that first episode go up Monday, expect something on Tuesday, then the Wednesday and all that. But like I said, I got to get all that done. So Invasion's going to be kind of disappearing for a little bit, but it's not like I'm not working on it. It's just that I'm getting everything ready for the week of WrestleMania, and then we're going to get started. So expect a video of me kind of explaining what each day is going to be happening building up to that. But with that being said, let us just go ahead, jump into this Sunday Night Heat, and let's move on. We got a couple pre-show matches here because since we are... Did I not press yes? Okay. Since we are building up towards, like a new season, I guess, post-Invasion is like how I always been referring to it. I've been kind of looking at some of our developmental talents, kind of wanted to see where they're at. So that's kind of what this was. Unfortunately, that's kind of stupid. I don't get people, like, how they worked if it's a battle royale. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense since a battle royale, having been in one, is really just a bunch of punches and kicks and, waiting for your spot pretty much. But with that being said, I took all of our women down in our developmental territory and put them in this match here just to kind of get a gauge to see who, or hoping to get a gauge to see who really was kind of ready. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get that here. So a 24 solid E rating here for our women's battle royale featuring everyone down in developmental. Besides Tracy Brooklyn, who of course is, oh boy, what the hell's her real name? Tracy Brooks. Not Brooke Tessmacher, who I believe I confused her with before. Not that I confused them, but more like I confused the gimmicks. I thought maybe she was like Brooke Tessmacher for some reason in TNA. She had a different name in TNA, but I think she was managing Bobby Roode for a little bit. I also think she was with oh god, what the hell, Kazarian for a little while there as well. Not like in storyline, but actually with him, like they were dating for a little while there until they split up. So that's just a little bit of a background on who Tracy Brooks is, or AKA Tracy Brooklyn is who we're calling her, because she will be managing the pimp party of the team of Val Venus and the Godfather going forward. She's officially called up. We gave her a picture and everything. So other women in this match, of course, are Beth Phoenix, cheerleader Melissa, who I think is actually pretty young. Usually I don't really hire teenagers, and Melissa kind of, I guess, just snuck by me because I'm such a big fan of cheerleader Melissas. But yeah, Gail Kim, Lisa Marie Varon, better known as Victoria, Lou Fisto, Mickey James, Nikita, better known as Katie Lee Burchell, Winter, or even just Katarina now over on Impact. Shelly Martinez, better known as, I believe, Selena's on Impact. She used to manage LAX. She was also Ariel, managing Kevin Thorne back on the ECW brand. Taylor Mathney, I'm not really sure who Taylor Mathney is. She graduated from our, whatever you call it, our training camp, I guess, or whatever. She graduated from there, so I went ahead and gave her a contract. Why the hell not? And she's had some success. I believe she was OVW Women's Champion for a little while, if she's not still the Women's Champion. I know Nikita was for a little while there. She was the first. With that being said, Tracy Brooklyn wins the Battle Royal in 9 minutes, 44 seconds. She's the only woman that I have on the main roster, so you're damn right I'm going to put her over. Other members of the Final Four were Lisa Marie Varon, Taylor Maffney, and Gail Kim, with Lisa Marie Varon being the final elimination. She also got the most eliminations over the match, so I guess that's kind of a hint towards maybe we kind of want to look at maybe Victoria, maybe look at Gail Kim, and maybe look at Taylor Maffney here, if they're kind of like the ones that the game, because I don't think I booked that in. I don't believe I did. I can double check. I don't think it's in here. Yeah, no, I didn't book that in. That was the game deciding to do them, so they might be the ones I want to take a look at. I just made sure that Tracy won. Lisa, a.k.a. Victoria, suffering a back strain. That's unfortunate. Must have took a bad bump on the outside of the ring. Shelly Martinez getting better at her gimmick. Tracy getting an average rating on her seductress gimmick. I would have liked it to be a little better, but that's okay. And no worker improvements. Yeah, we know, Brooklyn. We then go on to yet another pre-show match. More testing out a lot of our developmental stars here. This was a big Fatal 4-Way tag team match of some of our tag teams down there. Interesting enough, Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous aren't a tag team. I thought they were for some reason, or at least that they had history with each other. I think they do have history in real life. I believe they are both members of 3 Count, but not in the game. So I still went ahead and did them as a team, though, because I already called them up. Might as well commit to the bit, right? 45 solid D rating here for the Fatal 4-Way tag team match. See, this time we get some in-ring performances. Pre-show bout that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. Don't know if you ever heard of those two. Especially Brock Lesnar. I mean, Shelton Benjamin, he's had a little bit of success. You might remember him in the world's greatest tag team, in fact, with Charlie Haas. You might remember Shelton Benjamin from his, little bit of a time as, Intercontinental Champion. He was in the Money in the Bank. But Brock Lesnar, man, was that a guy that just kind of came and went. Am I right? Total unknown quality. He's a guy I kind of want to, make a name out of since WWE wasn't able to. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. But Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, of course, you know who they are. Minnesota Stretching Crew, the Haas brothers, of course, Charlie and Russ. We've seen them quite a lot. In fact, they're probably going to be getting the call up here pretty soon. Young Dragons, Kaz Haishi, and Yang, better known as Jimmy Wang Yang. And then Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous, which, yeah, I think they're 3 Count, but I could be wrong. 45 solid D here. Pre-show bout, terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin, the Minnesota Stretching Crew, which I probably should have named them that, so maybe would have got a little bit more chemistry towards their team. But they end up going over the Young Dragons, Moore and Courageous, and the Haas brothers. This was elimination. I didn't mean for it to be elimination, but whatever. It happened. 10 minutes, 18 seconds. Order of elimination was the Haas brothers, then Moore and Courageous, and then finally ending with the Young Dragons. That's kind of done on purpose here because I remember Kaz Haishi and I believe Evan Courageous were both pretty upset that we were going to have Brock Lesnar win over here. So I kind of didn't want to bury Evan Courageous because he could be a good cruiserweight in the future. And, well, Kaz, I'm sorry, but you're the one that's going to complain by taking a loss to Brock Lesnar. You're going to take the pin, buddy. So that's where we had that. Shelton Benjamin, to my surprise, was the weak link here. Even worse than Haas in them, apparently. Huh. Shelton Benjamin. Am I going to have to leave you down in developmental longer? I would really have liked to have called you up with Brock Lesnar and maybe pushed the Minnesota Stretching Crew, but that's pretty bad. 24, wow. Kaz getting better at his gimmick. Russ Haas with a in-ring performance of a 38. Charlie with a 43. Charlie's getting good. Yeah, I mean, 43's, but you wouldn't. I don't know what his popularity is, but when you take popularity into account, that's got to be a good rating for him. Yang with a 51, that's actually pretty good as well. Kaz with a 51 as well. That's a good team. They definitely might be getting the call up. Evan Courageous with a 41. Shannon Moore with a 51, so Moore, he's definitely up there. See, a lot of these guys, minus like a Russ Haas, but, Charlie could probably carry him with the team and help him get over a little bit more. And then, of course, a lot of these guys, I feel, they're in the 50s. They could really, benefit from being on the main roster now, probably. Shelton Benjamin, we've already talked about with a 24. That's pretty bad if you ask me. Brock Lesnar with a 33. So, maybe it's just popularity based here. I mean, it could be pretty good considering what their popularity is. Because both of those are ratings I wouldn't really be like, oh, that's where they're ready for a call-up. They could probably afford to be left down there a little longer, to be completely honest. But definitely I'd say guys like Shannon Moore, Kaz, Yang, they're all pretty much ready. Charlie and Evan are pretty much, and they can probably be down there a little bit longer if you wanted to, but you can call them up. Russ, Benjamin, and Brock could probably benefit from a little bit more time down in, or a little bit, maybe a year more down in developmental, but they're still not far off as well. I'd say they're just a little bit more of a project if you bring them up. Shannon Moore is improving in his Rumble skills. Charlie and Brock Lesnar, so Charlie Haas and Brock Lesnar improving in their performance skills. And Shelton Benjamin is improving in technical. So good on you all there. We haven't even made it to the main show yet. I'm really analyzing these pre-show matches. And then finally, we have yet another Battle Royal. So once again, unfortunately, I was not able to get a good view on, or gauge on a lot of these guys' talent, or, where they're at, I should say. But 39 D- rating, I pretty much took, I think it was everybody 35 and over. Maybe it was 30 years old and over. Just kind of a lot of our older guys to kind of see where they were. Again, didn't really work to my favor because, well, Battle Royals, I didn't think that you wouldn't be able to see what they can do in Battle Royal, so that was my bad. So everyone here is a little bit older. That is kind of the point of putting them all in here. In an abysmal pre-show match, though, 39 D+ or D-. Monty Brown wins the Battle Royal in 10 minutes, 6 seconds after eliminating Mark Henry, Leviathan, Ron Waterman. Mark Henry, of course, being the final elimination. Mark also got the most eliminations in the match. So I kind of booked this myself. I wanted Mark Henry to originally win because it made sense, but Monty Brown actually complained. And at first I was going to be like, all right, well, fine, Monty. But then I actually took a look at Monty's popularity, and I'm like, you know what, Monty, you're actually not too bad right now. Like, Monty, I think, is ready for a call-up for sure. Like, the game is already pretty much booking him as a mid-card talent, I believe. And his popularity is not super over, but he's definitely a lot more popular than a lot of these guys. And that might be because of his NFL fame. I'm not sure. I don't really even know him. I only know him from TNA, so I just know that apparently he was in the NFL or something like that. Nonetheless, though, Monty Brown does go ahead and win the match. I wanted Mark Henry to look strong. Of course, him and Monty Brown being partners down in developmental, so I thought maybe that would be kind of interesting, or a nice little add-on there where you can have Monty kind of full Mark Henry at the very end with them working together. Ron Waterman, very old, plus he's kind of, I think, a former, I think it's Pride. I don't think it's UFC. I think he was part of, Pride or something. He's a former one of those kind of fighters, so I figured, why not? And then Leviathan, of course, being Batista. Might have heard of him. Figured might as well give him the push as well. Other people in this match were Easy Money, Joe E. Legend, Chemo. We already know about Leviathan and Mark Henry, but then there is Mike Sanders, Monty Brown, Red Dog, who apparently the very vocal crowd wasn't particularly thrilled with seeing him wrestle, so it's not good for Red Dog's future, who I think is Rondi Mack, if I'm being honest here. Reno, and then Ron Waterman. So Mark Henry apparently not suited to his gimmick. That's unfortunate, I should say. Mike Sanders off his game. Crowd does not like Red Dog, which could be a bad sign for him. Chemo is improving in his technical. Monty Brown is improving in his performance. So good stuff there. I'm going to take a quick drink here before we go ahead and start Sunday Night Heat, actually. All right. So let's do this. So the start of Sunday Night Heat, we get a 51 D+ rating here. The team of Val Venus and the Godfather, a.k.a. the Pimp Party. I took a drink and now all of a sudden I can't talk. They come out alongside, of course, their new manager, Tracy Brooklyn, the woman that won that Battle Royal earlier, collectively known as the Pimp Party. They make their way down to the ring, and then out are their next opponents, the ego-driven duo of Jamie Noble and Just Incredible, who come out with mics in their hands and something on their mind. Incredible starts off by saying, "Looky what we got here, Jamie. Two washed-up punks who had to resort to their past to remain relevant." And then that's when Jamie Noble speaks up, "Hey, but what about who's between them? Miss Tracy Brooklyn. Trust me when I say the pleasure is all mine." And Incredible goes, "Don't fall for their trap, Jamie. She's only out here to bring attention to these two sausages and to distract those who stand up to her meal ticket. Well, it's not gonna work on us, babe, because tonight we're ripping your meal ticket to pieces. And the Noble, big smile on his face, yeah, but hey, if you need a new ticket, then it just so happens that I've got an opening. That's when Godfather takes the mic and he goes, hey, why don't you two just shut the hell up and get in the ring and start fighting? So nothing too special here. Pretty generic angle just to kind of give a little bit more sedative to why these two teams are fighting. Pimp Party just looking, to have a good time. And then you got, of course, Jamie Noble and Just Incredible. Mostly Jamie Noble hitting on Tracy, while Credible being the more serious of the two and level-minded and seeing like she's only here to pretty much distract us. Really, this angle only serves to kind of bring attention on the Tracy more than it does the Pimp Party because she is so new. So that's kind of the point of here. We are going to go ahead and give Tracy the face turn here because, well, she started off as a heel. I believe we should be fine. I'm so used to my WWE versus TEW series, so those usually don't go too good. But I think we'll be fine here. I mean, she's had like 2 segments at least. Yeah, complete success. There you go. Everyone loves Tracy Brooklyn. And there you have that. No worker improvements at all here. Match itself, so opening match of the night, gets a 56 C- rating here. That's awesome. Good stuff altogether. Be honest, that's actually a really good rating for this match. About that had subpar wrestling, little heat to it. The Pimp Party, Val Venus and the Godfather, going over Jamie Noble and Just Incredible in 8 minutes 8 seconds after Val Venus goes over Just Incredible with the pile driver after Tracy Brooklyn interfered. So doing her work there. Brooklyn doing some good work ringside, and hey, here's something good. The Godfather and Tracy Brooklyn have excellent chemistry together, so that's just even more amazing. That's going to help out Tracy even more, help her get over the fact that she's managing the Godfather, and they have such great chemistry together, so that should help her even more. Val Venus with an in-ring performance of a 55, the Godfather with a 56, Just Incredible with a 50, and I've got to say, guys, Jamie Noble, 52, that is a guy to keep your eyes on post-invasion. I've got to do something with Jamie Noble. This guy is too good. I mean, he's an enhancement talent, and he's putting on in-ring performances of 52. We've got to get him at least in the Cruiserweight division or something. Gaining heat to the Right to Censor feud. I'm not exactly sure why. I wonder if these two aren't partners in there. That might be the issue there. Credible is improving in his flying skills, so you know what? Even Just Incredible had a pretty good performance here. Usually he's not that good, but tonight he pulled it out. Good stuff all around from everyone. 53 C- rating afterwards. The Pimp Party, they celebrate in the ring after their win, but instead of their music playing, the sirens go off and the Right to Censor's music plays, and out comes Steven Richards and Ivory. Richards comes out clapping, and he just takes the mic and goes, well, congratulations, guys. You finally sunk back to your old ways. Not only have you both left and gone back to the life of sin, but now you're even bringing your so-called hoes out with you now again? Val Venus, he's tired of Steven Richards. He's tired of the Right to Censor. And he's tired of all of this, and he's not going to have Richards badmouth Tracy, calling her a hoe and all that. So he takes the mic. He says, Stevie, shut the hell up. Why can't you just move on? You've lost. No one wants to join your little cult, okay? I've lost? On the contrary, I believe I've beaten you every chance I've had, Val. And as for your little comment about no one wanting to join me and the Right to Censor, well, you couldn't be more wrong. Because next week, on the Heat Super Show, which, by the way, I guess this is kind of the first official announcement of the Heat Super Show, but, yeah. On the Heat Super Show, we end this once and for all. When you three, yes, 3, Sean, Charles, and Miss Brooklyn herself, will take on me, Ivory, and the newest member of the Right to Censor, which will be revealed next week. And then Stevie with the big smile on his face, he goes to walk away, and then Val takes the mic again. He goes, hey, next week, Stevie, you and your cult are boned. And kind of throwing in a little bit of a, Val Venus line in there. And there you have it. Next week, the end of the feud. 6-way, or I was going to say 6-man, but I guess it's just a 6-person tag match. I don't know. As the Pimp Party, collectively, all three will take on the Right to Censor. Richards is going to debut a new person. Super Show officially announced here as well, because I think I briefly mentioned this to you guys a little bit before, but I never actually confirmed it. But we're going to be kind of doing like a little bit, I guess, of a pre-show kind of thing before WrestleMania, where it's going to be kind of like the Sunday Night Heat Super Show. Not just being like a 30 minutes. It's going to be a little bit longer. I don't know how long we're going to make it. Maybe an hour. I think that's actually how long Heat's supposed to be. So maybe 2 hours. I think 2 hours is what we'll do. And, getting on some of the lower card people and some matches that might not be able to fit on there as well, or really don't fit the theme of it as well. So that'll be officially announced a little bit later on tonight as well, and probably on Heat or Raw and all that as well. But there you have it. That match being confirmed for next week's Super Show. Which you guys may be wondering, what about Real Sunday Night Heat? Well, that's just going to be a throwaway episode where I just book a bunch of developmental stars. I'm probably not even going to record that episode. We then go to a 49 D+ rating backstage. We called up Josh Matthews for tonight to test out, how he's doing. We needed a person to, be the mic person, I guess. Josh Matthews takes the mic. He has, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Josh Matthews, and joining me now are the men who will take on Hardcore Holly and Spike in our main event, the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer. And that's, of course, when all three of them, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Beulah, all enter the shot pretty much. And Matthews continues. Guys, you've got to be looking forward to the match tonight. After the weeks of Holly and Spike taking cheap shots at you, it's safe to say with both of you out there, they won't be able to pull any of their usual tricks. Tommy then steps up. Yeah, that's the hope. Hardcore Holly likes to take the cheap way out, but tonight, I've got his back and he's got mine. And Spike, nothing personal, but when you get punched in the face, hopefully that punch knocks some sense into you and shows you that those damn Dudleys weren't your only family in ECW. And that's when Sandman, he's sick of it. He kind of pushes Tommy Dreamer and he goes, forget Spike. Tonight isn't about family, Tommy. Family's best left out of the ring. Tonight is about knocking both their dam's head off with one stiff shot to the cranium. And that's when Sandman, looking at his Singapore cane, just kind of walks off the shot. Dreamer, it's not a no disqualification match, and Dreamer's just like, no, you can't do that. Sandman, wait. And he goes to chase after Sandman because, well, Sandman, we all know him. He usually gets disqualified because he doesn't really know the rules and he just wants to beat people up. So Dreamer trying to make sure that doesn't happen here tonight, but Sandman, his anger might get the best of him. Beulah getting better at her gimmick, apparently. She looked good as well, so I think that's the first time Beulah ever got a little bit of attention here in the Road Agent report. Matthews was underwhelming, though, so that's unfortunate for him. All right, we again jump into 6-man tag team match and more test of some of the developmental stars we have down there. Took some of our better in-ring workers alongside, with Chad Coiler, Dinsmore, and Rob Conway. I have no idea what Chad Coiler is. We've seen Rob Conway up here, and, well, he had the same name in his WWE run. Nick Dinsmore you may recognize as Eugene. We've seen him before as well. 52 D+ rating, and about that had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat. Too Cool, Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Grandmaster Sexay going over Coiler, Dinsmore, and Conway in 5 minutes, 15 seconds when Rikishi defeats Coiler with the Rum Shaker. Grandmaster Sexay with an in-ring performance of a 60. God, he's good. Scotty 2 Hotty with a 52. Rikishi with a 64. Rob Conway with a 31. Dinsmore, best of all three of them, with a 34. And Coiler, the weakest, with a 29. Rikishi is improving in his flying skills. It's an interesting one to improve on, but there you have it. Afterwards, though, we then jump into a solid 60 rated C rated angle here. Messed up my words there again. Got a little tongue-tied. Don't have to really explain too much. Too Cool, getting ready for their dance. Sunglasses go on Rikishi. They're ready to start dancing. But Disco Inferno, Alex Wright, Das Funda Kid, and Tank Abbott, a.k.a. the Boogie Knights, they come out, interrupt the dance, start beating down on Too Cool, and just pretty much leaving them all bloodied and laying there, kind of hyping up their upcoming match next week, as we'll have yet another 6-man tag match now that I think about it. The end of the feud here between these two teams probably is going to be like an open 6-man tag match or something, though. Not just a tag team, more of a crazy all-out tornado kind of stipulation. Even though that's not really in the game, that's kind of my hopes for that. 77, solid B rating. I almost said solid 77. 77 solid B rating as the Heat Super Show is officially announced. We've heard about it, a little bit tonight, of course, confirming the matches between the Pimp Party and the Right to Censor and Too Cool and the Boogie Knights. Also confirming right here, right now, that at Heat Super Showdown, Kane will defend his WWF Intercontinental Championship in the main event against Rhino. And Chris Benoit will battle DDP in a no disqualification match, a bit of a grudge match between those two. So, of course, Kane and Rhino both technically representing the WWF. There really is no, since it is kind of WCW versus WWF, I haven't officially made the announcement yet, but it's going to be kind of like a point system tournament. Kind of that's where it's, each match, it matters pretty much with the one going over the other, and whoever has the most points pretty much wins. And, the last main event match is going to pretty much decide it. Typical stuff. I think they did it at Invasion as well. Not me, but they did it. But that's kind of where we're going with that. But so of course some of these matches like Benoit and DDP don't really fit it as well because it's not WCW versus WWF either. That's two WCW guys. But that isn't to say that there aren't going to be WCW versus WWF matches on here. As we just heard about the Boogie Knights versus Too Cool, that'll be considered that. So both those that match right there whoever wins that match will count towards the points for either WWF or WCW. And there's also going to be a battle royal, an immunity battle royal. This is something WWE did in real life at Survivor Series when they ended the Invasion angle. So we're going to be doing the same thing. I like the idea of it. An immunity battle royal, taking a lot of the guys who really aren't going to be on the WrestleMania card. Someone like the Giant, per se. Someone like Ron Simmons, who really should be on the card, but I really just have nothing for them, so they kind of just get pushed aside and on this immunity battle royal. They're hyped here alongside Palumbo and Bradshaw because, especially Giant and Ron Simmons here, you got to think about it. I mean, these are two guys that left the WWF, and they had their contracts, but now they're at WCW, and it could all just be for none because WCW could fold again, and now that leaves the Giant and Ron Simmons without a job, per se. So, that's kind of what we got going on there, just hyping up the Super Showdown event. Angle got the crowd hotter. Did lose some heat. I don't know why. I probably should have made this a minor angle. That was my bad. And I believe it is main event time. Yes, it is. 58 C- rating here in our main event, and about that had subpar wrestling and little heat to it. Sandman and Tommy Dreamer go over to the team of Hardcore Holly and Spike in 8 minutes, 28 seconds when Hardcore Holly gets himself intentionally disqualified while fighting the Sandman. So I'd like to imagine that he got a hold of Sandman's cane himself and beat him over with it instead. So there you have that. Hardcore Holly, even though it is a tag team match, still able... The damn mosquito in my room. They're all over the place. Anyway... Hardcore Holly's still able to pretty much get himself DQ'd going after the ECW guys because they're extreme, apparently, and they can take it. Plus, he's also teaching Spike a lesson. That's kind of the lesson here. Get a little bit more of an aggressive side. So, Tommy Dreamer with an in-ring performance of a 56. Man, Dreamer's so good for being, at the level that he's at right now. Sandman with a 43. Weakest of the match. Hopefully he's not on drugs, or drunk. But we haven't seen anything from Sandman since we sent him from rehab last time, so... Part of me feels like we might have not cured, but we might have rehabbed Sandman, and if we did, that's kind of incredible to me. Can you actually imagine a rehab Sandman? Spike with an in-ring performance of a 50. Hardcore Holly with the best in-ring performance of the match with a 59. Increasing some heat for the feud as well. Sandman improving in his Rumble skills, and he wasn't drunk. I think that we really reformed him, guys. I really do. 54 C- afterwards. Hardcore Holly continues to beat Sandman over and over again with his own Singapore cane until finally Tommy Dreamer comes in and steps in. He rips the cane from Hardcore Holly's hands. He talks a little bit of smack and goes to swing it right at Hardcore Holly, but Spike, I almost said Spike Dudley. Spike rips it from Dreamer's hands, and Tommy Dreamer, he's trying to pretty much tell Spike, look, you don't need to do this, man. Like, we're friends, blah, 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 stuff like that. But Spike, he seems a little hesitant, but he finally just pulls the trigger, swings, and just lands a stiff shot right onto Tommy Dreamer, right between his eyebrows. Concussion City, pretty much, beating him over and over again while he's just laying there on the ground. Hardcore Holly eventually steps in and stops him, kind of giving him this look that at first kind of looks like a disappointed, like, what the hell you think you're doing? But then a big smile goes over Hardcore Holly's face. Him and Spike hug each other, and they leave both the two bloodied ECW stars in the middle of the ring, just laying there as they leave. Tommy Dreamer manages to grab a mic, though. Blood coming down his face. Leans up against the ropes, or you pretty much using the ropes to hold himself up. He's still laying down, so pretty much just imagine his, like, elbows on, like, the bottom rope as he's talking, and he's like, "See? Cowards. Remember this day, Spike. Because this is the day you officially left your family to die. Which is why next week, if you two actually grow a set of balls, you'll face Sandman and myself one more time in an ECW rules match." And that's kind of the big pop of there. Hardcore Holly and Spike just kind of look off like, oh boy, It's pretty much just confirming the match right there, as Dreamer looks like a badass, kind of like the whole please sir, may I have another, when he did with Sandman, when you think back to it. But now he's just pretty much saying, you know what, that's it, you guys want to do this, let's do this. We're going to do this on our terms, though. Beulah helping out Tommy as well, so all in all, good stuff. As we end off the show, this actually might be a pretty good heat. We did pretty well, I think. Yeah, 64 solid C rating for this heat. That's an average rating, but for a Sunday Night Heat, I think that's a really good rating. You don't really ever expect to get like a B- or anything on a heat, so that's good stuff. That is actually really good stuff as we build towards, I guess, Sunday Night Heat's WrestleMania. Now with the super shows, I don't think I'm going to do them for like every pay-per-view. I'll probably only do them for like the big fours. So for like a SummerSlam, a Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, Mania, stuff like that. Maybe not even for all that stuff. Maybe only for Mania, but that's kind of like their big, event, or like NXT Takeover or something like that. Anyway, though, we do have a couple of developmental things to check out. So it looks like what we're going to be doing is going from HWA to NWA to OVW, and apparently they grew. Growth of OVW. They're regional size now, huh? So I guess they were just local before. But if we look at their ratings, yeah, they got 29 solid E rating here in the Great Lakes. Yeah, regional, that works. Now they just got to become Colt. But they can't rise above Colt because they're a child company. Oh, look at that. Now that's interesting. You can't be a Colt company if you're a child company. I wonder if they can request to be released from that. That's interesting. Well, that kind of brings up, what's it called? NXT. I mean, I feel like they're kind of a Colt company. Damn, these mosquitoes got me all over the place. I just took off my sock because my foot was itching, and Jesus. Freaking ankle biters, let me tell you. Before we go ahead and check off the developmental territories, though, Lisa Marie Varon, we already know she was injured. Out of curiosity, like how badly was she injured? I didn't want to look at her popularity. She's working through it, so she's fine. She's fine. Her best match is still against Trish Stratus, to my surprise. Tank Abbott just doesn't get it, in my opinion. He can probably be cut loose, says Dave Hebner. Wow, Dave, I didn't know you were a wrestler. Then again, I guess you don't have to be a wrestler to know who gets it and who doesn't, but still. Last person I really figured I'd hear from was him. All right, let's take a look at HWA. Now, mind you, we did call up quite a few people on that night, so it'll be interesting to see how they go about it here. Nonetheless, though, 31 rating here, 31 E+ rating here, as Shet Jabolski goes over Matt Striker. I didn't mean to click on him. Your teacher, Matt Striker, by the way. 49 D+ rating here, as Elix Skipper has a backstage segment with Kimono Wanalele, whoever that is. 43 solid D rating. I was going to say D+, as Terry Funk goes over Unibrow Matt Striker. They always use both of them like in the same match or same night, I swear, all the time. 33 E+ rating as Ray Steele. Or is that one Ray Steele? Yeah. Ray Steele goes over Cody Hawk. And then 34 E+ rating here as Rory Fox goes over Logan Kane. We haven't seen Rory Fox in a little while here. 53 C- rating here. That was a good match. 53 C- rating here as D'Lo Brown retains his HWA Heavyweight Championship against Scott Vick. And then finally, in the main event of the night, 38 D- rating as Nova. And Johnny the Bull goes over BJ Whitmer and Corporal Cajun. So 42 solid D rating for the show all in all. Then it goes to NWA Wildside Wrestling here. 50 D+ rating for this show. We open up the night with a 52 D+ rating as Onyx goes over Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. 54 C- rating here as we get a little bit of an interview with the Road Dogg. 43 solid D rating here as Scotty Wren goes over Cassidy O'Reilly. Usually Scotty Wren's the one doing the job, so he actually gets a rare victory. 41 solid D as, what is that, Ray Gordy? Well, that's Jimmy Rave. Yeah, Ray Gordy going over Jimmy Rave and Lazarus. Usually Lazarus is like always winning, so that's also a rare loss for him. 33 E+ rating as Tony Stradlin goes over JC Daz. And then we go to a backstage angle, 58 C-, a segment between Carlito Cole and Sean O'Haire, the NWA Wildside Champion. 58 C- rating here as Ernest the Cat Miller defeats Sean O'Haire to retain the NWA Wildside Heavyweight title. Did Sean O'Haire lose the championship? Huh. I didn't know he lost the title. So Ernest the Cat Miller's the champion down there? Really? I'll have to check that out. Or was it just by DQ? Usually it doesn't say retain if it's DQ. It just says the person won. And finally, in our main event of the night, 55 C- rating as Adam Jacobs and David Flair go over the team of Caprice Coleman and Air Paris. So, real quick, I want to look at NWA Wildside Wrestling. Yeah, he did beat him. He beat him, well, he beat him last week. I must have missed it or just forgot about it, but he did beat him. And beat him twice. Even had a better match, 1 point better. So there you have that. Ernest the Cat Miller, currently the champion down there. And then finally, OVW, the newly minted regional size company, 52 D+ rating. Opening match of the night gets a 38 D- as The Machine, an unmasked machine. What? They took his mask off. Or at least they changed his picture, because I didn't do that. Goes over Maven. Huh. I didn't think they could change pictures. I don't remember. That's weird. 38 D- rating as John Cena defeats Damien to retain the OVW Hardcore Championship. We then move on to a 55 C- rating as Randy Orton goes over Ricky Banderas. That was a good match. 55, good lord. And then finally in the main event, 53 C- rating as Bull Buchanan goes over Fit Finlay to retain the OVW Heavyweight Championship. All in all, good stuff. Well, you never know though. We might see another like show or something. I should have put on the freaking whatever that tool is that lets you choose how far you want to simulate forward to. But then again, actually, you know what? There's a reason why we don't do that. I just remembered it. If we do that, we won't know if there was a show because it'll skip over it, whatever. So we usually just do this to simulate all the way up towards Monday Night Raw anyway, to, because you never know if one of the developmental companies are going to have a special show or something. So Nitro got a 45.91 rating. Holy hell, that sounds like a good rating. Jeez. Vampiro apparently has relocated. He now lives in the Mid-South. I think he lived in Mexico before because of, well, he was, working for AAA. Under a pay-per-appearance, I believe, as well. So you can see right there. No, it wasn't AAA. It was CMLL, my bad. But yeah, he was working for both of them until we snatched him in. But yeah, I think he was living in Mexico before, but now he's living in Mid-South USA. So there you have that. Vampiro sick of going back and forth. You know, speaking of AAA, let's check out their show. They got a 71 B- rating here. Anybody I know? That's the unfortunate thing here. Is I don't really know a lot of them. Like, I don't really know a lot of New Japan stuff going on, but I'm definitely more familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling than I am with anything that goes down in Mexico, like AAA, CMLL. And you know, the funny thing is I just remembered that Vampiro worked for CMLL, not AAA. But I saw Dos Caras, but now that I think about it, I think Alberto Del Rio's Dos Caras Jr., so that's probably his father or uncle or something. I forget. I know the name Latin Lover, but I don't really know who Latin Lover is. I just know the name. And Cybernetico is another guy I know the name of, but don't really know him. Paraguayo Jr., if I'm correct, I only know him because he's the guy that passed away in that Rey Mysterio match. It's still crazy to think about, but again, I don't know him. That's the unfortunate thing. I really feel that Hispanic wrestling just has the hardest time getting a lot of attention. And I know, like, I think one of them, or both of them, I think both AAA and CMLL, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe they both have, like, Twitch channels that they stream on, but I don't know. Every time I try to watch it, it just seems like it's botch central, and I'm not trying to be that. That's all it ever seems like. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, oh, God, this is bad. Like, wow. Like, and it's usually just the pay-per-view events, but a lot of audio issues and all that, and then the wrestlers are just, botching a lot of the time. But that is something I would like to see, get some attention. I guess Lucha Underground is kind of how they get their attention now, though, because if you think about it, a lot of the guys who really have gotten their start here in Lucha Underground were guys who I believe were a part of either AAA or CMLL. I always forget which one it is, but they had like some sort of deal going on that allowed them to use a lot of those guys, like a Pentagon Jr., like a Phoenix. Hell, even Taya, she made her name down in like Mexico, and now here she is, making strides in America. So I guess in a way, Lucha Underground really did help a lot of those. Oh wow, Adam Jacobs, is he's not in our developmental. He just works there. Do we have him on our short list? Because that is a guy we should hire. Yeah, we're gonna hire Adam Jacobs, but if I hire him, will that vacate the championship? That's my worry. I don't want to negotiate with him now and then have him go down there and lose the title, but he's got a hot property, and if we look at his matches, I think, yeah, I mean, granted, he's in the ring with like AJ Styles and all that, but even against people like, Jason Cross and Onyx or down here, I mean, Jacobs, I think, is promising. Definitely someone to keep an eye on. All right, we just got one more day to simulate forward. I haven't really been paying attention down here all that much. Okay, I guess I have. I just really felt like we were going to see one. I doubt we are going to see one now, though, unless they're going to hold it on a Sunday, but I feel like they usually hold it like the days afterwards. So I think we're good. I don't think we're going to see any more events here, but you never know. You never know. They like to sneak in random events here and there because that's just the kind of way they are. We have a decision, though. I'm not going to show that because I don't... I don't know. What is this? Frustrated Shawn Michaels. Huh. After over 6 months without work, Shawn Michaels had admitted to feeling a little frustrated by his current situation. He's reported as having said that he cannot wait to get back into the thick of things. Well, look at that. We might have to take a look at Shawn Michaels. Lisa Marie Varon back at 100%, so good for her. And XPW on the brink. Cash-stripped XPW appear to have lurched into more problems as it is being widely reported that they have a matter of months. Well, they're not really our style of company. But they are a company out there that gets, people on the show and gets them working. Like, are these guys, like, working other places? You know, like that's the problem. Like a lot of these guys, I feel, aren't gonna be able to make it. What did I just do? Yeah. On the outside, I mean, look at the Messiah. He only works for XPW, but no one's calling them or anything. You know what? I've got the money. I've got the money. I don't want to do a takeover. How do I just buy them out? Can we do an attempt takeover? I don't want a developmental either. I just want to pay out their stuff. That's all I want. Oh, is this... No, I don't want it to be a developmental territory either, though. That's the other issue. Really? I can't just pay off their debt and that be that? Disbanding means the promotion is simply closed with all contracts canceled. They are more popular than you know. Promotions debts are paid off and is allowed to remain in business. However, they will agree to act as a developmental territory and for your return. I don't want that, though. Promotion is closed. See, that's the problem. I don't want them to be my company. I just want to pay off their debt so they stay open, you know? That's kind of what I want to do, but if there's a way to do that, let me know down below, guys. But with that being said, that is going to be the end of this video. Like I mentioned earlier on, it is going to be a little bit of a hiatus here with Invasion as I get things ready for the week of WrestleMania. So like I said, keep an eye out for another video as I kind of confirm what exactly we'll be seeing on the week of WrestleMania, aside from, you know, your basic Monday Night Raw and your Nitro and whatnot. But anyway, my name's been OMG WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. I will see you guys once we get into the week of WrestleMania, and expect a lot of WWE versus TEW, because even though I haven't been uploading them, I have been watching wrestling, so I have my times and everything, so I can just go ahead and book them, record, and hopefully get them out as soon as possible. If so, I'm thinking what I'll end up doing is maybe uploading like a week in one day, like Raw, SmackDown, 205, and NXT one day, and that's like 1 week I've missed, and then so on and so forth. That way we can catch up quicker, because Hell in a Cell is this Sunday. I didn't know that. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time.